So yeah, おはようございます。こんばんは。こんにちは。はい、授業始まります。So yeah, the class begins. So I know it's been a while since we've had N4 level. なんか4級日本語はね、3週間ぶりだね。なんか結構長い間やらなかったんだからね。So yeah, welcome. This is your dark-skinned wolf boy VTuber ロコロ。はい、今回の授業ようこそ来てくださいました。合宿狼少年系 VTuber ロコロです。今回ですね、まあ知ってる通り授業のためにここに来たんでしょ。まあ知らんけど。So yeah, I'm kind of tired. I don't know why. No, I think I know why. ちょっと待ってください。Okay, I think this is better. I think. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing alright. I know N4 level isn't always like the Japanese a lot of people are in. So in a sense, it would be obvious that there would be like less people coming in here. But if you're interested in a bit more advanced Japanese, you know, it's always a welcome. But yeah, setting aside all of the doom and the gloom, この話をね、さておき、やっぱりね。So what did we do last time, which was not that, but actually it was this one we did last time. I think I can remove this. So yeah, this is the last... No. This was the Japanese we had last time. So we explained, you know, a Toki. Wait, that was quite long actually. And then we have the te form plus すいませんでした or ごめんなさい or 大変申し訳ありませんでした So basically you're being sorry for doing something, you know? So yeah, now hold on. Oh, this is 223. Okay. Sorry about that. Never mind me. But yeah, let us start. So as you may have noticed, I'm slightly late. I mean, that's not a great excuse. So yeah, we're basically going with, I think, lesson 17 of Genki Volume 2. So we're going to start off with a bunch of vocabulary. Yeah, it's still like a page and a half. So yeah, expect today the first 2 hours maybe would be just vocabulary. I know it's kind of sad, but we do what we must. So a lot of you, I believe, are no longer strangers to how I conduct my Japanese classes. So I think this is one thing I am what do you call it, inconsistent at. Whether the main categories are capitalized or just written in proper form. But does it even change things? Not really. So vocabulary is I would use the word goi here instead of tango. Ah, yeah, aho desu. All this effort, you know? I mean, no wonder why technically this isn't even a word. Oh, sorry. I forgot to switch. Oh, there. Oh my god. Gomennasai, aho deshita. And because it's Japanese lessons, what do you call it again? Song requests are up. Let me just like check the settings again. Okay. Okay, I think this should be better. No, I think the media request has to be down to 5% as well. Okay, there. So as usual, we start off with vocabulary. So we have quite a bit of nouns here. So we start off with nouns. Nouns or meishi in Japanese. I guess this is one of those days where I'm becoming anal at my own handwriting. Not too bad. Okay, so we start off with お客さん。お客さん。So that means a guest or a visitor or a client or a customer. So what of the four? But then I believe when it comes to like the business Japanese realm, there's another word for client, which is kokyaku. That's a different word. So let's see. So that is お客さん. And then next word. Oyu. Oyu. So this is hot water. And then next up. Oh. Actually, give me 1 sec. I don't know why the kanji isn't provided for this word, but I'll provide it here. Kagi. Kagi. So this means lock or key. So yeah, it could either refer to the lock or the key that unlocks the lock. Kind of weird, right? And then next up. Kami. Kami. So this kami means paper. Because you may have heard of kami being God, on which you're not wrong, except it's written as this kami. So this kami means God or divinity. And how there's actually like 3 kami that I know, which have like different meanings. So the last kami that I know, which is a noun, It's this kami, which means hair. So yeah, this is hair. In particular, this refers to the hair on the head. Because there's a different word for hair for the rest of the body. So yeah, remember we have when you say kami, it kind of depends on the context, which one of the three, you know? Now the question is, would I be not so sleepy by the middle of this lesson? We'll find out eventually. Okay, next one. Oh, for a salaryman, this is the best thing. Kyuryo. I think I'm better off translating this. I'm better off putting this translated to Japanese. Kyuryo. So you see at the bottom. So you see at the bottom, it means salary, right? Okay. Here's the thing. Kyuryo is the salary the worker receives. How about the salary from the employer's perspective, where it is given, you know, the salary you, as the employer, you pay to the employee. That's kyuryo. If I could just like move this down. Let me just write out like the intricacies. And then kyuryo is the salary paid by the employer. Well, of course, they basically refer to the same money. It's all a matter of perspective. That's where the nuance is. So you have kyuryo, and then kyuyo, right? I don't know why it's giving us allowance. Okay, weird. Hinda na. Okay, next word would be 最低。最低。So it refers to the lowest. Or the worst. Compared to that, oopsie, ごめんなさい. If I could just put it down there so that I could put something else in its stead. So there's actually the opposite of that, which is... なんかごめんなさい. Psycho. So this is the exact opposite. It's either the highest or the best. So yeah, Psycho, the highest or the best, and then Saite, the lowest or the worst. Remember this kanji, it means high, takai, remember? And then we have this one, this means low, hikui. Right?
단지 전용のマシン連合せよさ資料は今罪と知るべし人の目が君を見るイェイイェイと人の目が君を見る
Oh my god.ちゃんと人って言ってくれる。うわ。Anyways. So next one. The thing I don't like about being a salaryman. I don't like this at all. So this is Zangyo. This is overtime work.
聞けよ目の前で良きことのためとささやく見えないブラザーが
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't like this. これ大嫌いです。大嫌い。So you can say 残業最低。残業は最低。Yeah. うわ残業なんてごめんだOkay, where the fuck is my mouse? Okay, あ、見つけたOkay, 次 I'll have to put this because this is one of those what we call 和製英語和製英語 This is like, it sounds English, but the meaning isn't the actual English meaning that we know. So this is one of those examples. So I have to put it here. Stove. The translator says heater. The translator said stove, right? Like, normally you would think, hey, it says stove, so it should be stove, right? 違います. So, its actual meaning is... I know. なぜかというと、僕に聞かないでください。僕も知らない。I don't even know. But then there's you know, 暖房. So I think that's the more apt nowadays. Okay, next one. Ah, ごめんなさい。宝くじ. I mean, in a way, the subtitles already provided me the meaning. So it means lottery, like in general. Not just referring to Super Lotto in the Philippines or what you call it again, Super Bowl in the United States. It's not just that specifically, but it's any form of lottery in general. Okay?違う。君の回路を閉じ込めたよ。すでに他にないだろう。どうすだろう。君が映した夢のNever mind. ごめんなさい。Okay, next. Chigai. So this means difference. Okay. Puedes oírme susurrar. So are we good so far? Any questions? 質問とかございますか? I'm not muted, right? It's no, I'm not muted, right? No, I shouldn't be. Yeah. So next word would be I vaguely remember the kanji for the next word, but I forgot the details, so I'll have to like look for it. Oh, since we're at the topic of hair earlier, something relating to it. Ah. 粗末の書き方。あ、これ勘弁してくださいよ。ひげ。ひげ。So, this is usually written in hiragana, so don't be like me. So, hige means beard or mustache. But it's usually beard.なんかおじさんになった時はね、さすがにヒゲが生えるでしょうね。No, I'd like to beいや、どっちも嫌いです。I like myself clean trimmed, like facial free of facial hair, like no thanks. 一応はね、陰茎も嫌です。あ、違う。啓蒙も嫌です。陰謀も嫌いです。陰謀。never mind. I don't know. I forgot the Japanese word for pubes. I don't like it either. If I could like shave the rest of my body besides my actual hair on top, my brows, my eyelids, eyelashes, I think I'm okay. Anyways. So yeah, 秘密. It means a secret. And then you have like a bunch of other words relating to secret such as 極秘, 内密. Yeah, Hasun. Banana. Banana. Banana 気持ちいい。banana. Yeah, banana. ダメ、banana. いや、断じて興奮していません。終わってんな、このドスケベオカミ。It's so over for this pervy wolf. Okay, I'm sorry. バナナ。やだ。ダメ、行く。行っちゃいそう。ダメ。おい、ちょっと待って。おい。授業中に興奮させんじゃねえぞ。 Like, don't make the most perverted class ever. Saすがに拷問は勘弁してください. Like, no thanks. Like, no to torture. Okay, where was I? Next one would be... Ryo! 50. So yeah, Ryo means dormitory. あれ違うわ。さすがにそんな体力がないけど僕はね一応一発で終わりそんなに体力がないだから下だ下だから下下下ってtomorrow no oh my god my translator is failing me メモするんじゃないぞさすがにそれをメモしないでおくれとにかくlast noun for todayあれなんかごめんなさい旅行会社 I mean, it's already there in the subtitles. It means a travel agency. Ah, yeah. また怖いの話かいまた怖いの話なんだかよもうお前も好きなくせにI mean even if you know even though you like it too shut up 黙っとけえへSo that's it for the nouns for today. So we have お客さん、お湯、鍵、紙、紙、紙。I know. 紙が3つ。There are like 3 kami. The one that means paper, another that means God, and the last one that means hair on the head. And then 給与給料最高最低残業 勝負、宝くじ、違い、ひげ、秘密、寮、旅行会社。So that's it for the nouns. Let's move on to adjectives. Actually, we will only have adjectives. Not adjectives. 形容詞しかいないようですね。Let me check if I have okay, I have it on the correct row. In Japanese, it's slightly different, I guess. Just slight. Yes. I'll just think. 違います。So, no な adjectives. な形容詞はありません。So, yeah, no な adjectives for now. ちょっと待って。Okay. So first one. Ah, ごめんなさい。羨ましい。envious。So what are you envious of? So you use ga here. For example, 日本に行けた友達が羨ましい。So see the subtitle below? Right? 同人誌が買えるみんなが羨ましい。So the thing before ga is actually the subject of envy. Okay? And the next would be not everything that has nai is already a negative form. これはね、否定形 定とは限らない。これは否定ではないです。So this is not negation, okay? Remember, this is an E adjective. Let's focus here. So skunai means a little or a few. And then next would be so you may have seen this before, you may have heard of this before. Tsuyoi. Tsuyoi. Strong. So that's it for the U adjectives. Osake kudasai yo. Whiskey kudasai. Honnyaku no hou ga block sarete. なんかなんでなんでまあいっか。 And then next up, so let's go for O verbs. Remember, for a lot of doujins actually, it's usually written as E and then so that when you conjugate it, it makes sense, you know? Actually, there might be one or two or a few doujins that will have furigana on top of this katakana, which will have probably something like probably. Remember, for things like this, you will never convert, you will never put the last bit in katakana. It'll always remain in hiragana. I'm more of iku, but then sometimes I use deru. So I'm either an iku person or a deru kind of person. Well, it ultimately depends on how you use it. まあ、要するに、使い方がまあ、どちらかというと、使い方によるものです。But then, recalling my experience, sometimes I go for 出ちゃいそう。出ちゃいそう。Or sometimes I go for, you know, いっちゃう Who knows? Why are we talking about this? I know! Why are we even having this conversation? なんでこんな話になってしまったのなんであー、バナナあー、バナナあー、バナナあー Yamete! Okay, where was I? Oh, verbs, right? Imagine if I upload this to YouTube and then I get banned from YouTube because of this and this video. Ooh. So verbs, as you know, I have explained at some point, it's called godandoshi. The subtitles is kind of wrong. I am lazy today. なんかやる気が出ないね。今日。Let me just like lower this bit. Ah, yeah. いや、それはしないでくれ。So, verbs, they're called godandoshi. So yeah, let's go for our first one. Yeah, this is one of those kanji I do not like writing. See? Yada na. Hold on, this one kind of feels wrong too. I have lots of things to fix here. So we have erabu. So erabu is means to choose, to pick, or to select. And the next one . This is like specific actually. There. 沸かす。沸かす。Hold on. Why is my translator suddenly not moving? はい、すいませんでした。沸かす。沸かす。あれ So this means to boil? So it's usually water. But in the case of water, you'll say you won't say omizu. You won't say mizo wakasu. No. You'll say oyu o wakasu. So it could also refer to other stuff like soup, stock. Like chicken stock, you know? Or broth. So yeah, basically it applies to basically anything you can bring to a boil on a stove. Just give me one sec. For the next one. Oh my god. Where's the enter? Enter here, doko? Oh, there. Okay, okay, sorry about that. Tokasu. So this means to comb out. To comb out. So it's usually, you know, for hair. I guess to a certain extent, you can apply that to eyelids, eyebrows, like brush your eyebrows. I don't know. And then next, let's go for you know what? It's usually just hair. Yeah, it's usually just hair. Maybe to a certain extent mustache, but it's mostly hair. So you would say kami o tokasu. No, not that kanji. Oh my god. Although this is usually just written in hiragana. Oh my god, we have like a metal piece here all of a sudden. Okay, next word. Komu. Komu. Komu means to get crowded. in this case, we use ga. So place ga, and then if you want to say Tokyo is crowded, Tokyo ga kondeiru. Yeah, 例えばね、東京が混んでいます。The subtitles has the wrong kanji, but I think that could be used as well. So, sorry about that. Next kanji would be next u verb. Ataru. So there, ataru is one of the kanji with a lot of like meanings, but for now, we'll select like one of the very meanings there, which is to be selected or to win. And in this case, we'll use ni. So where were you selected? So you would say takara kuji ni ataru. Takara kuji ni ataru. So you got selected in the lottery. That means you win the lottery. Oh, my favorite word. Nugu. Take it off. Take it off. That's basically what it means. Nugu means to take off. Usually clothes. And then we have soru. It's actually kind of specific to mustache or beard. So I'll just put in the entire thing. Okay, for some reason I got lazy in that section, so let me rewrite that.
Society has been brainwashed right now, brainwashed right now.
Anyways. So, ヒゲを剃る to shave one's beard. So here's the thing. To trim your hair is 切る. So use of for hair. You have 切る. For the rest, it's actually 剃る. It's not just beard but also your pubes. Yes, they count. Because it's more of like shaving than trimming. Than cutting per se. I think that's it for verbs. Let's go for verbs. They're only like... There's only a few. Ah, ちょっと待ってくださいね。So reverbs, also called, or in Japanese they're called 一段動詞. So let's go for our first verb. No. I wrote taki instead of ireru. Ah, ベルリク来てくれてありがとう。見守ってくれてありがとう。はい、すいません。エッチの狼です。はい、エッチの狼です。よろしくお願いします。えへ。あ、今のところは何も言えないな。ノーコメントです。ノーコメントです。さて諸君、果たして今見ている VTuber さんはね服着てるんだろうか。はい。バナナ。想像にお任せいたします。I leave it up to your imagination. うわ。 入れる。 No! Wrong! 入れる。違う。漢字が違う。So 入れる here means to make tea, coffee, or any hot drink, honestly. Eat it. But honestly though, when you say ireru, it's mostly either tea or coffee. I haven't heard of any drink where you use ireru. こっちの入れるかい。確か、合ってる？それとも、いや違う。振り仮名い。えへ。So, if you've read enough doujinshi, you'll see this. はい、十分同人誌を読んでいただいたら、そのセリフ、まあ、目に入ってるでしょうね。えへ。Okay, next one.鍵をかける。So that means to lock. So if you're going to lock something, that something will be before the particle ni. For example, 低層体。ダメだ僕、ダメだ。ダメだ。何を言ってるからね。I didn't see anything. すいませんでした。Okay, next, reverb. それをさすがに痛いだからやめて。Like that kind, like, when you force it, it kind of hurts. So no. For us, lube is not optional. It's required. 一応ね、僕らにとってはね、ローションはね、になんかじゃなく必須です。ローションは必須です。ね。Anyways とにかくSo we have 足りる Either this means to be sufficient or to be enough. So we'll use ga here. For example, lotion ga tarimasu. So there is enough lotion. Or lube in this case, I guess. Okay, next one. Last reverb. Not. Oh my god. Nareru. So either get used to, get accustomed to. For example, pistonにピストンにかなれるあ、ごめん、終わったありゃーはい、本当にすいませんでしたI think I might put this on the next page. ちょっと待ってね。Okay, so we have quite a bit more. So we have verbs, reverbs, and then we have irregular verbs. Ma. 返す言葉がないI'm at a loss for words. So irregular verbs, they're known in Japanese as 不規則動詞. There are cases where, yeah. There are days where I'm consistently okay with like writing kanji, and then there's some days where my writing is so bad. Okay, so 不規則動詞。ほ ら見てる見てるでしょanyways, so first up,化粧する so to put on makeup. Oh, this is what a lot of YouTubers fear.就職する Yep, to get a full-time job. (でしょ? So yeah, so you would say to get a full-time job at a certain company, so you would say,例えばね、what's a good one? For example, 住友銀行に就職する。So you have the employer and then に就職する。And then lastly,ちょっと待って。Where's my... Oh, there.離婚する to get a divorce or to divorce. So that's it for the irregular verbs, and then lastly, adverbs and other stuff. Oh, I love this song. あ、この曲はね、結構好きなんだ。So, adverbs is 副詞。If I recall, Wow, what a difficult word. Oyobi. So yeah, 副詞およびその他の表現。It sounds scary, but adverbs and then and, although this is more of as well as. Other expressions. Let me just clear that out. Okay, let's go. Kana. So this expression is something you put at the end of a sentence to wonder about. So for example, 大丈夫かな? I wonder if it's alright. Yeah, something like that. Although this is more on the casual side. And then next. Sorry. Not the Code Geass opening. 自分. So oneself. So you could say, all by myself. Yeah. Never mind. Ma, 一応相手がまあちょっと待って自分の翻訳がSo 自分 oneself and then next one would be Zuibun. So either very extremely. Yeah, usually it's very. And then another expression here would be
そうか。なるほど。
I see. So, Ahsoka. So it's more on the casual side as well. If you want the more polite tone, you can say, そうですか. And then another expression. それに. So this is moreover. And then next word. Tatoeba. For example. And then another one. So a lot more expressions here basically. Ni kurabete. Compared to or compared with. And the next expression. Ni yoru to. According to. And then next one. This is probably like the last. Let me redo that. Yappari. By itself, it's usually like, you know, I knew it. Yappari ne. Or it could be used as あ、やっぱり死んじゃったね. So he died after all.なんか盛り上がってんな。I think people are having fun. So you can actually use やっぱり you know as example. やっぱり自分でオナニーしたか. So he masturbated by himself after all. Kind of funny because you say the Japanese for after all at the very beginning, but after all for English is at the very end. Like, okay. Ha. Oh well. So that's all of the vocabulary that we have for this. Yeah. So that's all the vocabulary we have. So with that, can I take a short break? I just need to drink some water. 少々、お待ちしていただけませんか？さすがに水分補給しないといけないとのことで。So yeah, I have to drink some water. You know what? Okay, here's the table. I'll leave it in for now. Or, you know what? Maybe later. Okay, see you in a bit, okay? ちょっと待ってね。はい、ただいま戻りました。I'm back. So, about this entire thing I've been writing. I know some of you wanted this, and I've been neglecting uploading these on the server for quite some time, and I apologize for that. Could someone remind me this weekend to allot a few hours to go back to all of my Japanese lessons, particularly to all the VODs, to all the videos I've uploaded, to actually upload the corresponding sheet and add them as links. Can someone remind me? Like, otherwise, my neurospicy brain would probably forget about things the next day. So, give me just 1 second, y'all. So what's with this black line? It's just for me to have some sort of marker on where to put my next heading. So now that we've introduced the vocabulary that we need, we'll now enter the grammar section. So, in 2 weeks, for our next, N4 class, we'll just be continuing with grammar and kanji. And so we start. And start we shall. So grammar in Japanese is bunpo. Wow. So, as you may have noticed from the stream title, knowing how to gossip. Why did I write that? Because probably the only grammar point we will be discussing today is this. Daそうです. So you're basically going to report things other people said. So previously we've learned about, so this being, describing things that seem to be, for example, oh, this person seems to be kind. あ、この人は、親切そうです。あ、この人は親切そうです。This person seems kind, right? Something like that. あ、明日雨が降りそうです。So, 明日雨が降りそうです。So it looks like it'll rain tomorrow. It seems, So another usage of so this is to basically report things that other people said, as I mentioned. Although, yeah, the way it's the conjugation is actually quite different, okay? So let's have like an example. Or actually, let me write this down. So this is basically a hearsay, a gossip, a hearsay report. I.e. Marites. For the Filipinos, yeah, one word for this entire thing is, yeah, Marites. So yeah, we're going to gossip today. なんか噂話をしますね。うわー So yeah, so let's have an example. So if someone said, so let's start off with a noun. At ちょっと待ってくださいね。いや、let's not fool ourselves. 自分のことを、ごまかさないでいただきたいのですが。If someone said this, so if someone said this, 66は変態です。So how would you report it? So our keyword here would be, or let's put the English as well. So the above is the rumor. 66は変態です。So the main key here, sorry, the main, this is like our main idea, right? So how do we report this? So we have hentai this. So we start off with the case of a noun. So we have oopsie. Yeah, this is like a lot of things to prepare. So, for example, we have the rumor being Rokuro-kun wa hentai desu. Rokuro is a pervert. So when we convert that into reporting hearsay, we'll have Rokuro-kun wa hentai dasou desu. So a lot of the things in the gossip remained intact. Except the last bit here. So instead of this gets converted to short form. Note, so we have a noun plus short form da, and then so desu. So we have, what will be the English? We have... So I've heard Rokuro is a pervert, or I've heard that Rokuro is a pervert. We good so far? So the important thing here is we have the connection being whenever we have a noun or a na adjective, actually. So if we have a noun or a na adjective, we'll have da before adding so desu. Okay? That's like the big lesson here. So this also applies to na adjectives. So for example, I could say, oh, Miya-kun wa shinsetsu desu. So that's the rumor. Miya is kind. Miya-kun wa shinsetsu desu. So you would say, Miya-kun wa shinsetsu dasou desu. Okay? So how about E adjectives? For E adjectives, actually, it'll be a bit of a different case. Because we won't need any You know what? I'll just put it here. Hold on. Let me just reform this entire bit. I'll just put this as na adjective. So both of them actually required that before so this. And for E adjectives, we'll actually just have we'll go directly to so this. There's an exception, which is arimasen or nai. Oh wait, oh wait, for verbs actually. This is for verbs in general. For verbs, you need to have the short form. Before using so this. So let's provide let's have an example for the second one, for E adjectives. So let's talk about the last game I've been playing, which is 30XX. So the rumor is So that's the rumor. 30XX は楽しいです。I know, the reading is kind of long. Oh, sorry. Okay, what was happening? Okay, I think that should be fine. 30XX は楽しいです。 So that's the rumor. So how do we convert this? So what's our main idea again? 楽しい. It's fun. So if we try to report that, we have 30xx は楽しそうです。So we already go directly to so this instead of adding that like we've done previously. Sorry, I got the wrong pen. Okay. Oh, I forgot the English equivalent. So you would say I have heard that $30xx is fun. I could just like adjust this for a bit. Okay. So in general, the rule here is you make it a short form. So let me just like adjust. Okay, so let's have an example for the short form of the verb. So I think this should be like the last lesson. Sorry, a last example before we conclude the class for tonight. ちょっと待って。Hold on. I'm looking for like something, but you know what? Never mind. Uh. Okay, so let's consider a random Daisuke-san. Like whoever Daisuke is, I do not know. So the rumor is... hold on. Yeah, I think for this entire bit, I'll just have to like write everything first. Oh my god, this is a lot of words to write. Just give me 1 second, everyone. Okay. So let's have this example. So 去年大輔さんが離婚しました。I almost forgot the kanji, the reading here. So that's the rumor. So how would you say it? 去年大輔さんが離婚したそうです。So you would say, oh, it seems that Mr. Daisuke got a divorce last year. Or, I've heard that Mr. Daisuke got a divorce last year. So the common thing is that, so we have this word, right? 離婚しました all became short form. So 楽しいです so becomes 楽しい short form. So even here, it could be noun plus this or na adjective conjugated, so becomes 変態だ right? Becomes short form as well. So in general, it's all short form plus そうです。So that means I don't need this entire table because it's kind of redundant. Okay? So this conjugation is actually similar to reporting someone who said it. For example, remember? 彼は自分でオナニーと言っていました。Or これは正しいだと思います。So for hearsays, it's also similar. Can we squeeze in one more? Okay, I think we can squeeze in one more topic. Because a good thing, this is actually related to a so this, like this one right now. So this one, oh sorry. So the good thing about te is, this is a glottal stop small tsu. So the good thing about this is that This is basically say the same as so this. The only difference is that this is informal. So this functions the same as so this. Maybe a better... So it's functionally the same as so this. Even the way you conjugate things is the same as so this. The only difference is that this is for informal situations. Or informal speech, sorry. I guess to prove a point, let's have an example. What's a good one? So let's say your friend said yes, sorry, I'll just like write everything and then discuss. I know. can keep it as is, I guess. Oopsie. Okay, so what if your friend said this? 明日ローションを買いに行きます。So, if your friend says, oh, I'll go buy and loop tomorrow. So how would you report it that your friend said that? You can say, 彼は or that can be omitted. 明日ローションを買いに行くって。Notice the use of te. So the nice thing about te here is that it's not just for so this, but can also be used to directly report what another person said. So it could be used the same way as so this and to itteimasu. Okay? And the fun fact here is that for things such as for, you know, quoting another person, you can also use te in place of to. Oops, sorry. So let's have this example. So let's have two people. No. Sakuragi. Ah, mm, huh. Uh, hold on. I'm thinking of an example. ちょっと待って。今、例文を考え中です。例文。Okay, that's weird. Oh, I forgot to put in the English a bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so here's the example. So person A said, "Ah, Sakuragi-san wa nante itta?" And then B responded with, "Kino pantsa o kaisugita tte itteta." So you can see here, normally you would go for, "Oh, Sakuragi-san wa nanto ittemashita ka?" Right? That's how you usually say. And then B would respond with, "Ah, kino pantsa o kaisugita to ittemashita." But in informal situations, you can say te instead of to. Like here. あ、桜木さんはなんて言ってた? So instead of なんて, you would say なんて. And then, response is, あ、昨日パンツを買いすぎたって. You can actually stop there. You don't have to say this entire bit anymore. You can say, you can just say, yeah. あ、昨日パンツを買いすぎたって. And it would almost be understood already as you're quoting that person who said the thing. Okay? So, any questions so far? はい、質問がありますか? We good? Okay, so I think that's it for today. I know we have like a lot of vocabulary. So yeah, it's vocabulary day. And then at least we got like not just one piece of grammar, you know? We got 2 grammar points we got to discuss today, which is pretty nice. So in 2 weeks, we will continue with the grammar plus some kanji. So yeah, I think that concludes our Japanese lessons for today. Who do we rate for today? はい、これで、今日の4級日本語授業、これで終了です。っていうことで、誰をレイドしましょうか? Who do we raid? Any suggestions? 何かおすすめが Who y'all want me to raid? Just don't mind the metal. There's kind of no one today, so I guess we can just end it here plain. So yeah, with that, so next week we'll return to N5. So which is thankfully the continuation of this. So this will be next week. So next week we'll continue adjectives for the N5 division. But of course, everyone here, I assume, is here particularly for, you know, N4 level Japanese. So the next N4 Japanese would be in 2 weeks. So next Monday. はい、2週間後に、次の4級日本語となっております。So yeah, with that, thank you so much. ということで、出席ありがとうございました。So thank you for attending today's lecture, lesson. 今日の講義、授業。まあ。So yeah, with that, good night. おやすみ。僕もそろそろ寝ないといけないので。じゃあねー。バイバイ。おつろく。バナナ